and welcome back to Sarah Loves to Sew. I'm Sarah, owner and creator of Sarah Loves to Sew, and I've come on here today to show you how to make the perfect little gardening apron. So it's August here now in the UK 2023. I don't know if you're watching this on replay, that's why I have to say that, but basically it's the season for deadheading all those lovely blooms so that they come back again. So secateurs, really handy. I keep misplacing mine. However, if you get one of these cute little sewing aprons, you can keep your secateurs in the pocket, wrap them up, and whenever you need it, you've got your little apron ready to go on. So this has got the cute fox print on the front and it's lined with it, and then we've got this gorgeous floral as well for the pockets. So I've divided mine up with one big line down the middle, so you've got two big pockets, but if you prefer you can stitch in more pockets like we did on the Sew Caddy last month. So this is how we're going to make the Sarah Loves to Sew gardening apron. So this is the next kit that's available to buy on my website, and that's sarahlovestosew.co.uk, and you get everything that you need to make this kit. That includes the quality reel of cotton, the fabric, everything that you need per project. So we will start by opening your box and getting out your fabric. Right, so get all the fabric out of the kit, and you'll see that you've got 4 different ones, 3 green with the foxes and the lovely floral. So this will be for the pocket. So just set your floral one aside, and then you're going to need to cut a 4" by 23" strip out of this. That is going to be the waistband. The next one, you're going to cut 2 4" strips out of this one, and you'll keep that the full width of the fabric, so you have 2 really long strips there. Those will be for the straps. And then thirdly, the largest piece of fabric, you're going to cut 2 15 by 22" strips, and the 22 is along the bottom and the top with the foxes facing the right way, sitting up. Okay, so get cutting with those and we'll go on to the next step. Okay, so we've now cut all our pieces. This one is the waistband, so that is the shortest 4" or 10cm width band of the foxes. That's your waistband. So just pop that aside for now. We've got the straps, which again we're not going to need for the time being, but those are the really long strips, and that just enables this pattern to fit many sizes, because you've obviously got the width of the apron, but with this extra long strap we don't have to make the apron made to measure. This can just tie around the waist. So you've got 2 of those, 1 for each strap. Then we have the pocket, the lovely pocket, which we will be using first of all. So just fold that lengthways in half for the time being, and we will be top stitching along that fold first, and then you've got the front of the apron and the reverse. So if we just take the pocket, first thing you're going to do is to top stitch along this fold. So when I say top stitch, that's basically running stitch. So on your machine, 2.5 stitch length is great, and you're sewing as close as you can to the edge in a nice straight line, and it just makes that edge, which will be the top of the pocket, a really nice crisp edge with a professional finish. So take that to the machine and do that first. Okay, so we have now top stitched along the top of that pocket, if you can see that. And now we're going to take the front of the apron. So with the print facing upwards, place the pocket matching up the bottom edge like so. Okay, and then you're going to just line that up, and then you're going to stay stitch, which basically means that you can do a running stitch with a bigger stitch length, So I'm going to push mine up to
and bottom
4 and just sew down either side of the pocket. So once you've stay stitched those sides, you then can start sewing your pockets. So I'm just going to do one line down the centre, and then I'll have 2 pockets, but it's up to you. If you want to have more sections, then just go ahead and mark them. And I'm doing that with a ruler and a fabric pen, and just for me, I'm going to just make sure that it's in the centre where my pocket's going. So you can either do the same, or if you want more pockets, you mark those. So I'm just going to mark either sides and then join it up with the ruler so it's nice and straight. And this will give me the 2 pockets that I require. Because basically once I've made my apron, I'm going to keep my secateurs in one pocket and then roll it up. So now you've drawn your lines wherever you need them, you just take it to sewing machine, make sure you change your stitch length back to 2.5 and then just sew a line up and back and forth a little bit at the top just to reinforce that where there will be pressure pulled on the pocket. So once you've sewn your pocket divider lines on, I've just done the one down there, you need to get the back of the apron. So make sure that the foxes are the same way up, the correct way up, and put it face down on top of the front and just pin that on the sides in place. Now we're just going to round off the corners at the bottom of the apron edges. So for this, just find a curved object like a lid, or I'm going to use my little weights here. You can use an egg cup, or you can use a jar lid or anything like that, and just mark a little rounded corner like so, and do that on both of the lower corners. And then just trim those through all the layers,
sides and the bottom.
Trim those nice and rounded. And then once you've sewn along the sides and along the bottom, you can just then clip your curves on the bottom edge there. Careful not to go into the stitching, but just this will really help the corners to lie flat when we turn it the right way round. So here's a good time as well to take out the stay stitching that we put in for the pockets. So if you can see that, if you've done them in the bigger stitch, you'll be able to take that out now. So those little stitches can come out. And then once you've done that, you can turn it the right way round. So do that for both sides. And where are they? There they are. Then you can turn it the right way round, and you can see from the other side which stay stitches are showing. So you should have enclosed the pocket, the side seam, in with the side seam of the apron there, and just press it so it lies nice and flat all the way up there, and then pin it because you're going to top stitch around that. So do that all the way around, poking out those corners, and then any extra of those stay stitches that you can see, pull those out, and then make it nice and flat by pressing it before you top stitch. So when we're going to top stitch along the edge, this will just help to keep the apron in with nice crisp edges. So once it's been washed, then things tend to lose their shape again, so it's easy to find the shape again when you're pressing it once those edges have been top stitched. Okay, so we're just taking out those stay stitches and poke the corners out nicely. So you want to press it so it's a nice centre seam, and do that all the way around, ready to top stitch. So you're going to top stitch just down the sides, along the bottom and up the other side again, but leave the top open. Okay, so that's looking much smarter now. It's been pressed and you've top stitched along the edge there. So next thing that we need to do is just to do a line of stay stitches along the top, the open top end. So this will just keep these two together. So make sure you do it catching both sides in, and just do it within a centimetre within the seam allowance so it won't show. So a straight line top to bottom. Okay, now put the apron aside and get the waistband and the straps, and you're going to sew them all together. So let's make sure that the foxes are going the right way. So those are lined up with that, and just sew with a 1 centimetre seam allowance. So you'll sew down there, and then the other side of the waistband you're going to attach the other one, again making sure that the foxes are facing the correct way, and just sew that as well. So you end up with one very long piece. So sew down there and the other join. Once you've got your long strip, you're going to fold it all in half and press it. So you're going to fold right sides together and then press that. So you've got one nice long strip folded in half. Once you've pressed the whole length of it, you're then going to sew the ends into a point. So you will start at one end of the strip and you'll sew from a point up to the seam allowance and sew all the way along until you get to the waistband, which is the first join, and then stop sewing. So you're not sewing the waistband closed, and then go along to the other strap and do exactly the same thing on the other side, and having a point at the end there as well. So once you've sewn all the way along the straps, you've left the waistband open, and then you've started again at the other strap. You just need to finish it off by sewing diagonally to the end, and then you just can clip the excess fabric off there, which I've done in a sort of pointy curve, and then if it is curved, just clip those corners, and do the same with the other side. So we cut off the excess, and then threads as well can go, and just clip those little corners. Okay, now ready to turn your belt the right way. So I don't know if you've got one of these tools, but I found that the easiest way is with one of these. Obviously you can just start to do it by hand. However, I do find that if you have a tube and the accompanying pokey stick, for want of a better name, you just slide all the fabric onto your tube, and then it's a much quicker, easier way of turning the belts. So just got to get all that on, and then poke it through, holding on to the tube that side, and then you just gradually pull it through like so, and then with the pokey stick inside you just poke through the corners and open the seam, and I tend to thumb press as well. Now I bought these turners, they're prim, and I think I got a set of 3, so I can really recommend these. I think I got them off Amazon. You've got small, large and a medium, which I've just dropped the stick foot with a corresponding size, going everywhere, pokey sticks. There's probably a really technical name for those, but I don't know them. So those are really useful and handy little tool there. It just makes it a little bit easier and quicker. So that's what I use. And then once you have turned your belt through, we're going to press it. But I do find that you get a better finish if you do just run the stick alongside that seam to open it out, and then do a sort of finger press, thumb press along like that, and then press it with the iron. So you're going to do that for both straps, this one and the other side, and then it'll be nice and pressed, and you're going to press the waistband in half as well. So let's just show you what I mean. So these are really long straps. I've made them long because obviously it will fit more sizes, because you can tie the bow, either wrap it round and tie it at the front, or you can tie it at the back. So once you've turned it the right way round and it's all pressed, you will also press the waistband in half that way this time. So once the belt's been pressed, that looks a lot better. You can then fold in the waistband by 1 centimetre or so it lines up with the strap, and then press that down, because that's where we're going to slip the apron into. So the next step, once you've ironed that, is to push the top of the apron into that waistband and then pin it in place. So you'll have a little bit over on the waistband, so just make sure you've got equal distance on both sides. So we've got fingers worth there and the same on that side. So pin that in, making sure that the waistband goes all the way up to the top and that you've pinned all the layers. And then you're going to sew top stitch. So basically starting up here and sew all the way along this edge, catching in both sides and the apron, and then carry on round all the way to the other end. You have it. Once you've top stitched the top of the waistband, or the waistband, you've got your completed lovely garden apron. So what I'm going to be doing with my secateurs, pretend these are my secateurs, I'm going to put them in the pocket, and then I'm going to roll them up so that I don't lose them, because I'm forever losing them. And when I need my secateurs, I just grab my apron, and it acts like a secateur case as well. Happy gardening! Keep sewing!
We're gonna keep it low key, keep it softly spoken.